before you make it. And you start to breathe. And so it looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed.
Hello, drillers. Welcome, Mr. Adams. Here to talk about the Electoral College. Happy early Halloween, by the way. It's October. I got to do something different and original. We all know I love Michael Jackson, but again, the Electoral College is a complicated subject. It's not bad, right? And it's not black or white either. And as I do this video, I'm kind of looking at the man in the mirror. So, Electoral College is a lot to talk about. And so we've already made one video about the Electoral College and the different mechanics and why it came about and what it really is. What I'd like to talk to you about in this video are really two things. One is, what are the complaints about it? Why do people dislike it? And the other thing is, what are some possible reforms, some possible solutions to it? Okay, and yeah, this is my Kermit the Frog shirt. Again, I love the Muppets. I love Ralph on the piano. I love the Swedish chef, hobla, 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 hobla. So, I love the Muppets. I've been waiting to wear this for a while, so I hope you can focus on the Electoral College, not Kermit the Frog, even though I know Kermit is awesome. Now, complaints about the Electoral College. Number one, 1824, 1876, 2000. At times, it is possible, it's happened 3 times in our country's history, it is possible for the popular winner not to win the Electoral College. This offends our democratic sensibilities. Every office in America, you win it by getting the most votes, except necessarily the presidency. So that offends us. That's problem number one. Number two, this is the problem that I have, which is that of the 51 states out there that get to vote the first Tuesday of November, only the swing states, and by that I mean the states that are actually relatively close in the polls, get any love from the candidates. That means they get visited. A candidate really hasn't visited California, where we live, in the general election for a very long time. California hasn't really been in place since 1988, 1992. It's been a very long time, since I was a wee little child. So, again, that's the second problem, is only the swing states get a lot of love. Third big problem are faithless electors. It is possible for one of the electors from a state to not vote the exact way that the state voted. So if California voted for Barack Obama, and so all of a sudden I have a conversion and I'm an elector, I could vote for Mitt Romney, and I would be called a faithless elector. It has never changed the outcome of an election, but it is a possibility, and that bothers people. And the last big problem, of course, are third parties. In my lifetime, we've had 2 very successful third parties. Ralph Nader in 2000 and Ross Perot in 1992. You could argue that both of them swung the election. Yet, how many electoral votes have either of them ever gotten? 0. Why? Because in the Electoral College, you have to straight out win a state to get any electoral votes. So those are the big complaints. Now, what are some possible solutions? Now remember, we have made reforms before. The 12th Amendment, because of the long, drawn-out election of 1800, changed the way we voted for president. Electors used to get 2 votes, and they'd put 2 names on a piece of paper, and the first, person who got the most votes became president, second place became vice president. But with the formation of parties, that was either going to lead to a tie every time, or the vice president was always going to be the opposite party of the president. We couldn't have that. So the 12th Amendment said, you're going to vote twice, but on 2 different ballots. Once for president, once for vice president. Hence, you run as a ticket now. You run as a package, a top of the ticket and the bottom of the ticket. Now, what are some possible ideas of reforming the Electoral College? Number one, abolish it. Just have a straight popular vote. The second option is to do what they do in Maine and Nebraska, where they retain the Electoral College, but they get rid of the winner-take-all so that you can win 1 congressional district and get 1 electoral vote. Whoever wins the state gets the 2 Senate votes. In Colorado, they didn't vote to do this, but in 2004, they were almost going to do it by proportion. If you got 60% of the vote, you get 60% of the electoral vote if you got 60% of the popular vote. And then finally, the newest idea is to have states sign on to this notion that they will send electors to the Electoral College not based upon what their state does, but what the popular vote of the nation is. So if you're Texas and the people for your state vote for a Republican, if you believe in this movement, you would send people to vote for Democrats if the Democratic Party got most of the votes nationally. These are all possible reforms. None of them will happen. Why? Because it's really hard to amend the Constitution. See you next time.